Happy 2026. I am back in my office with no splint. My surgeon took the splint off my ankle, or actually off my knee to my ankle. He manipulated the ankle, looked up at me, and said it felt tight. The pins had held. Praise God.
Are you walking through a storm that feels like it will never end? Do you wonder if life's storms have stolen the beauty from your life for good? You're in the right place. My name is Heather, and like you, I've been through a storm or two and wondered if life would ever be beautiful again. Here we share warriors' words, stories of discovering beauty after battles, and the worth in your wounds. Pick up your sword or boxing gloves and join the battle. Your words are powerful, my friends. Make them warrior words.
Welcome, warriors. Happy 2026. I am back in my office with no splint. When my surgeon took the splint off my ankle or my knee to my ankle, he manipulated my ankle, looked up at me, and said it felt tight. The pins had held. Praise God. I am so grateful. But I don't even know at this point if there's still a chance that the pins could come out. But I have an appointment to see him at the end of the month. So I guess he'll let me know how I'm progressing at that point. He gave me 2 small movements that I practiced daily up until that point. And then he'll give me, a full exercise program to follow to strengthen the ankle and do the range of motion and all that good stuff. I started out on 2 crutches, and then I graduated to just using 1 crutch. Yay! And now I am walking completely on my own. I still get fatigued, and I still have a lot of pain, but I am getting stronger, and I think that's what the important thing is. Now, I wish I could say I was sprinting into 2026, but the truth is, I'm more easing my way into this new year. And honestly, I think that's kind of smart. How many times do we look at the previous year, make a whole bunch of resolutions, goals, plans, and then sprint headlong in, and then feel defeated by Quitter's Day? Quitter's Day is, I don't want to say celebrated, but marked, I guess, on the second Friday of every January. And this year, that's January 9th. So if you're listening to this on the day it releases, that's just a couple days away. So what are you doing to combat this phenomenon of Quitter's Day? Those of us who are trauma survivors, we might be in a big hurry to put the last year into the past permanently and then just start fresh. And to be honest, that is so appealing in many ways. I think we just want to leave all the trauma behind, all of the yuck, all of the pain, all of the drama. Just kick it to the curb. But is that the healthiest thing to do? I think, based on my own experience, that is a surefire way to ensure that something rears its ugly head somewhere down the line. Just forgetting about a situation or focusing on something new, it doesn't solve the problem or provide a resolution to that problem. it also doesn't provide an opportunity to learn a lesson and have a new tool in your toolbox for the next situation that arises. And we all know there's a next situation coming. So while our tendency may just be to move forward and not look back, I want to suggest that you make some time this month to learn from 2025 before you get too far into 2026. And if you're listening to this episode later in the year, it's never too late to learn from our traumas and our difficult situations. It's never too late to look for the beauty that exists in every single one. Now, with all of that said, I want to shift into something a little bit different. I would like to ask for your help. As we move into the third year of the Warrior Words podcast, and I can't even believe we're starting the third year. January 16th is that third year or the anniversary of the podcast releasing, and that will start our third year. So I'm going to be looking for ways, maybe some additional ways, that the podcast can pay for itself. Because unfortunately, it's not free to do this. There are a few things that I do have to pay for every year in order to maintain the podcast. So, and I'd also, to be honest with you, I'd also like possibly to have the podcast help me with my bills, you know? And so there are free ways that you can help with that, and there are affiliate related ways as well. I have links in my show notes and my YouTube descriptions. And when you click on those links and make a purchase, I get a small commission, but your price doesn't go up. I call that a win-win. For example, I have a link to First Form, where you can get supplements and protein for your health and your weight loss goals. Perfect for the new year, right? I also have a link to Steph Gast's podcast school. There's a lot of S's in there. So if you want to start your own podcast, you could click on that link and get started, and I would earn a small commission from that. Let's see. I also have a merch store through a company called Fourth Wall. And I just created some simple items that have, the podcast name and the logo on them. So you could take advantage of that as well. And additionally, in the YouTube descriptions, I have a few Amazon links. Now, here's the weird thing about Amazon. I only get credit for the purchase when you click if you purchase within 24 hours. So at hour 25, I no longer get credited with that click or that commission. But on the plus side, you don't have to purchase the item you click on. So you could click on the link for the mic that I use and not purchase it, but purchase a couch instead. I don't know. It's just the first thing that came to mind. As long as you check out within that 24-hour window, I get the commission. I hope to add more affiliates throughout the year, but if any of those interest you, I would love your support. And you can still get some of my art and resin pieces over at my Ko-fi link. And all of those links, as you know, are in the descriptions. Now, here are some free ways that you can support Warrior Words. You can leave a rating and review wherever you listen. Apple Podcasts is the one that helps the most, but any way that you can rate and review the show, it helps to elevate it in the searches. You know, those wonderful algorithms we're all so fond of. You can share the whole show or a specific episode with your friends, on your socials, or through your newsletters, emails that you send out. Follow the show on your chosen platform and set up auto downloads. Now, the key, and this is key, most of them don't count the auto downloads. The episodes must be played in order to count. So the more you listen, the more you communicate to the platforms that the content is valuable. And this increases its presence in search results. And one last thing. Do you own or run a Catholic or Christian business? Have a course, a product, or a book? Do you want me to promote it on air? As of this airing, which is January of 2026, the show is small enough that I can be flexible. I can be very flexible. So get on my email list. Guess where the link is? In the description. Reply to one of my weekly emails. DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Let's work together. Let's make 2026 a great year for the Warrior Words podcast and your business. So until we meet again, armor up, fight the good fight, seek beauty, and make your words warrior words. God bless.